Today we want to talk about how to grow chilies from seed. If you've never grown chilies before, you can obviously buy the plants, but growing from seed, doesn't matter what plant it is, it's always fun to do. And there's something quite special about growing something from this tiny little seed up to sort of a massive bush or something like that. Okay, so you get your pot. Now you can do it in things like these propagators that have a nice little greenhouse thing. This one's got multiple ones in it. You get ones with 10 or none in them. That's nice and easy, but I'm going to do it from a pot because you should be able to get yourself a pot. You could even grow it in a little sort of plastic drinks cup or something like that. Make sure you put a few holes in the bottom if you're going to do that. And we're going to use just a standard freezer bag just to cover it up. So it's a bit easier to do it like that. Okay, so grab your pot and some soil. And what I want to do is put the soil in it, break up any lumps you might have. And we really want to put it in just, so we'll tap it down like this, because you'd be surprised how much soil will sink. We want to put the soil in so it's just below the top of the pot. I'm going to put a tiny bit more in there. Okay. Now obviously when we sow chilies on the nursery, because we're doing hundreds of thousands of them, we obviously do it by machine, but the principle is exactly the same. So tap it down, level out your soil. Okay. So it's an even surface to put it on. We're going to sow 3 seeds in here. You could do a tiny bit more, but I do more. I'd do more than one. I wouldn't do one because you always risk your seed not germinating, and then you're watering something for 10, 15, 20, 30 days and it doesn't come to anything, and that's always really frustrating. Now we've got a nice level surface of the compost. What I like to do is actually give it a little bit of a water first. The main reason is if you water quite a lot once you've got the seed in there, you can get sort of puddles of water and the seed will move around, maybe to where we don't want it to be, maybe right to the edge or all the seed together. So grab a watering can. Funny enough, there is a bit of an art to watering to stop it going everywhere. It's little and often, if you see, just go over the top. Once the water starts sinking in, which it has there, it's taken up a little bit of the water. I don't know the technical terms behind it, but effectively now you can safely water quite a bit and it doesn't puddle up. Don't ask me why, it's just how it works. Okay, now you've got that wet, you're going to have to water a bit less once you've actually sown the seed. So we grab the seed. I'm looking to put 3 in this pot. More will come out of here, there's thousands of seeds in here. Right, and I'm going to put them in a triangle, just like that. I don't want them too close to the edge, but we're not going to measure it. Just imagine the plant's going to grow, and you don't want it right at the edge, but equally you don't want all the seeds together as well. We're hoping all 3 will grow, and generally chilies are pretty good. You should be okay. Okay, let's put the seed back. So once you've got that, what you want to do is cover it over. There's loads of things you can do that with, but to be honest, I just do it with soil. So grab your soil and just put a light covering over the top. Take out any lumps you might get. We're not looking to cover it much at all. Okay, and then in a second we're going to water it again, just that top layer to get some moisture in there. Now when you're covering seed, a good rule of thumb, and there are seeds out there that are different, but a good rule of thumb is that if your seed is that big, which is unlikely, but if it's that big, you want to cover it with compost about the same amount again. That's a very good rule of thumb. It's something my dad taught me, and probably his dad taught him. So go with that. With chilies, they're so thin, so don't obsess about it, but just a light covering is ideal for chilies. So we'll water that one again. Again, lightly again, just like that. Okay, at this stage it's very unlikely you could overwater it. But if it looks wet, you're good to go. Okay, so now you've got this. We germinate our chilies at between 28 and 30 degrees. It's surprising actually, you might have a place in the house that you could do that at. But if you haven't, it will just take a bit longer. Probably below 20 degrees, you might have problems with germination entirely. If you can get up to that 28, 30 degrees, that's absolutely perfect. Maybe an airing cupboard, hot windowsill or something like that will be ideal. Okay, so once you've got it like that, what we want to do is cover it over. This is just a standard freezer bag. And we just pop it over the top, and I'll just tuck it underneath as well, and we're just basically making a greenhouse just like that. Okay, now it really does depend what chilies you're growing. It will take, probably the quickest you're going to get them germinate is around about a week, but I suspect most of them are going to be 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, something like that. Don't give up on them after that stage. They can take up to a month and sometimes longer. And realistically, if you've got it sitting on your windowsill, then it's not taking up much space, so don't give up on it too quickly. Sometimes they just take a bit of time to come through. Once they start germinating and come to this sort of height, or maybe a bit taller, then I would take this off. I'd remove the bag and I'd grow it as you would any chilli. Once they get going, they go relatively quickly, but it's this stage that tends to take a little bit longer. So give it a go. Obviously ask any questions in the comments. We're happy to help, and see how you get on. Thanks, bye.